Hello, I just want to start this video off by saying if you can think of a content creator that immediately wrote this node off as bad and their example was using something like a DMR, like a single shot gun, and playing slowly, like starting to move and stopping to move and stuff, you can probably write their opinions off because Tide games have never worked like this. This node was never going to be good like that. That is a fundamentally flawed idea from the start, and if that was your plan from the get-go, you don't have a successful Tide game plan in general. So how do you actually use this node? You take an already meta gun like the Columnus Mark IV, and you just use it as free damage, because all you need to do with the Columnus to build up 10 stacks in literally under a second is just go to the Horde and just put the gun at head height and sweep it left and right. So, why is this so absurdly powerful? Because of a synergy that I'm really shocked no one seems to realize, but the Columnus does not one-shot infested. It's like one of the only problems with the node. But if we actually stack this up, now we one-shot infested. You don't need blessings or anything to do this either, look. You just flat one-shot them. So this also should give you an idea of just how crazy of a damage increase this is. 400 on Maniac. But let's just dump the stacks real fast, and how much do we do normally? So think about it, we do 400, and now we go to 296. So we're getting like a 60% damage increase just for free. Now, I would like to talk about the supporting nodes real fast. Rending sucks because Rending Strike sucks. These both give the same amount of rending. Both of these combined are still half as effective as Onslaught. Just use Onslaught. Camouflage is terrible because this playstyle will never work. Huntsman Kruber didn't work like this, and he was the best attempt at this ever. Tunnel Vision is a very unique stat, and this line of text, Toughness Replenishment, this only really exists on Zealot Melee. So the way this works is this is a 2.5% modifier across 10 stacks, so it's 25% more toughness replenishment on everything. Yes, this works with Confirmed Kill. So this makes Confirmed Kill 25% better, this makes Catch a Breath 25% better, and this also makes Iron Will stronger by virtue of making these better, so amplifying their effects. Now, I also want to talk about maintaining these stacks. Oh, also, if you're going to tell me that of anything about doing it in a real game or whatever, how this only works in theory, please watch my Duo Auric Maelstrom video where we crash at the end. I maintain at least 9+ stacks in virtually every single fight for the entire fight. If you, with your glorious, not even winning most of your fucking quick play Auric wisdom, is going to tell me, person who like can two-man with some bots, Auric Maelstrom, what it does and doesn't work in a real match, I'm just going to laugh at you and delete your comment. I'm sorry, but that's just keeping it real. Anyway, keeping these stacks up is quite literally as simple as just doing something like this. Oh, hey, look, I'm already at the stack cap if you don't go over it with the one node. Literally 3 kills gives you 90% of the effect of this node. How fast can you get 3 headshots on a Horde? Well, the Horde density in Auric Maelstrom is like 3 sets of these guys. So, you literally just do this. And hey, look at that, I already went way over the cap stack in under a second. People do not even think about this node correctly. Like I said, it's 2-point investment for 60 to 70% extra damage on top of making all of your toughness survivability nodes better. Both of those are really good, worthwhile things. Now, if you want a raw damage comparison here, and yes, this is where your "this won't work in a real match" comments work, but please save it, because if you're going to announce to the world that you don't understand the value in understanding a raw damage comparison, then your other opinions also aren't going to be super valuable. The real crux of this node is how there's no penalty for missing your shots. So, this is what this is like, just normally, with the full stacks. So to give you an example of the kind of damage you can output with full stacks. Now, that's not very likely, but again, it's just a damage test. So, let me show you what this is like with no stacks, so you can just get an example of the kind of potential buffs that you're seeing. Because even if, by the way, even if you have 4 stacks, you still go to, that was like 3 something. So even with half the stacks, let's go to exactly half. This is literally less, this is basically 1 kill's worth of stacks. 337. You're still getting like a 25% damage increase just by killing a single fucking enemy. So, getting actual tangible damage benefits requires 0 effort. And this is what the damage is like without this. There's also some unique synergies that this node has. Okay, need I show you more? We weren't even able to half health the Plague Ogryn in one magazine, whereas with stacks, we were able to take about 75% health off with one magazine. It is a gigantic damage increase. The problem is people do not think about the node correctly. Don't change your playstyle. Don't try to stand still. Play exactly as you would, but realize that it is just a 2-point investment for most of the time a 20 to 30% damage increase against actual real match scenarios. And some of the times it's going to be a 60-70% damage increase for a very short burst. When you think about the node like that, it provides a ton of value. Then when you directly compare it to the other keystones, Focus Target is giving your whole team 12% damage, which is very nice, but you have to take a node above it, the primary node, and this. So this is a bigger investment, albeit for arguably a better effect, but then you don't benefit from the toughness replenishment unless you start spending another node, and now you're talking about a 4-point investment for something that you can just get for 2 points. And that's kind of the trade-off here. This node is a lot more damage than all these other nodes, and it's more support, but it only works for yourself. It's a rather selfish node, but honestly, who gives a fuck if you're playing quick play? Now, once the Columnus almost certainly gets nerfed, we're all just going to go back to using the Agrippina Mark I. And this has punch through. So what's interesting about punch through is it works for this node. We have 6 stacks, we go up to 12. So the Agrippina with Focus Target is basically an unstoppable monster at clearing hordes from literally any distance. And it's probably arguably veterans' best. Let's put it this way. It competes with even the max punch through shotgun build in terms of horde clear. Because all you need is to tap them once in the head. And if you're wondering, a huge reason why you would do this is for stuff like this. So you can just one-tap these guys. I don't have flak armor on this roll, but if I did, that would be a one-tap. The fact that this turns this gun into a 1 to 2 tapping special and elite thing is honestly kind of crazy. Oh, another really strong synergy here with this that a lot of people just don't seem to value is this right here. When you have these stacks, look at armor. When there's armored enemies mixed in a horde, that's a pretty dangerous situation. But if you just build your stacks on the horde, which as I showed takes literally less than a second, you can start doing stuff like this. That's 2100 DPS versus Carapace with 0 crits. If we take this off and just use Rending Strikes... Oh, that's a crit, that doesn't count. But that should already give you an idea. Let me try to get a run without a crit here, but even if we crit with Rending Strikes, we still do less damage than with Marksman's Focus. Yeah, we do 17 to 1800 DPS without Marksman's Focus. With it, we do 2100. So if you're just looking at more armor damage value, then this singular node is giving you effectively 3 Rending Strikes worth of value almost. Yes, it's just that good. Now, again, I already know people are going to say, but you're not going to be able to do that in a real match. I really can't stress how when you're using a machine gun, it is so fucking easy to just build stacks. Also, if you're telling me that I'm only hitting these shots because they're standing still in the Psychanium, I would say, are you fucking retarded? Dude, in normal gameplay, there's like this many fucking Poxwalkers stacked up in Auric Maelstrom or just Auric Quickplay. Literally, there's like this many of them stacked up. If you're going to tell me that you cannot consistently maintain stacks with a machine gun in Auric, I'm going to say you fucking suck at aiming. And that's just keeping it real. I'm aware that I place in like the top like 30-20%ish on aim labs, so I'm rather privileged talking about how easy it is to aim this. But guys, it's a literal fucking MG42, and you're literally like on the beaches of D-Day when you're playing Auric. If you're going to tell me you can't hit heads, I'm going to say you suck and I don't want to play with you.